So keeping our focus on that big subject of restructuring, let's get to Abuja and hear further the perspective of the House of Reps particularly. Markma.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. Joining us now to discuss it, Honorable Abdulrazak Namdas, who is the Chairman, House Committee on Media and Public Affairs. Honorable, you're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you so much.
Well, we always see you in politics today, but it's really nice to have you here with us this morning.
I appreciate it.
So the National Assembly is back from recess, and they are in tune, it would seem, with the discussions that have been happening in the land since they went on recess. It was also, you know, it happened to be on the front burner just before the National Assembly went on recess. And coincidentally, one might say, the National Assembly is considering a constitutional amendment. Do you think, so far so good, going by what the National Assembly has done so far, the votes that you have taken in the House of Reps particularly, would you say it's been in consonance with the agitations that you have seen across the country since you've been on recess?
Yes, thank you so much. I will say that most of the votes, I wouldn't say all, and tally with what Nigerians want. But after the voting, we realized that so many people are not comfortable with particularly the issue of devolution of powers. And because when you talk about federalism, true federalism, at least power should not be concentrated in the center. It should go to the states. Unfortunately, that aspect could not scale through during the voting process. And as representatives of the people, we should also listen to the hue and cry of the people, considering the agitations that is taking place across the country. And that was why, on resumption, part of it is becoming a key issue. We have a window alongside with that of the Senate. I would say since we have not transmitted these things to the state houses of assembly, it is safe that that's why the Speaker mentioned it, that this could also be possible that we will rescind the earlier decision and we'll come back with it into the House and then vote on it. That, in my opinion, it will assist.
What would you say is responsible for the gulf? Because if you look at it, the National Assembly, the House of Reps in particular, did try. I mean, it fell short by just a few votes, few important votes, 210. I think what was required is 240. So if they had 30 more, perhaps they would have been able to scale through that particular bill, would have been able to scale through. But what do you think is responsible for that gulf, it was saying? Because members of the National Assembly tell us it is what our constituents want. That is what we vote for. That's what we represent in the National Assembly. Would you say that the people who did not vote for it, their constituents are not asking for it?
I actually, because Nigeria operates a bicameral legislature, even if the vote has scaled in the House of Representatives, since it has failed in the Senate, certainly it will not fly. And because we require both the two houses to always vote on the same matter. I agree with you.
I agree with you
on
that.
Actually, let me also say that because a lot of people have different views about restructuring, depending on probably who you are talking to. Somebody from the south, his idea of restructuring may probably be different with somebody from the northeast, north central, or southwest. And probably with the interaction between the legislators and their constituents, there were some people who probably didn't get it very well. And but after you realize that there are so many explanations, and we realize that actually, rather than talking about division, this country divided, I think it is better that people should consider the fact that there is need for us to restructure. And restructure means particularly devolution of powers. We attempted almost to get through that in the House of Representatives, but as you say, we fell short of that. And therefore, we will come back and we have realized, a lot of people have also realized later that, look, this thing could be helpful. And we must always not say that we are always right. And where we fell short, we should be humble enough to say, sorry, we didn't do well, and we will work on it again.
So from what the Speaker was saying, are you saying that they're going to reintroduce the bill?
We will reintroduce the bill, actually. We have the window. We reintroduce this bill, and we will vote on it. And that will, because we feel that once you solve this problem of devolution of powers, people feel that, look, this country at the federal level should border more on foreign policy, defense, economy. Should not be talking about roads. It's archaic now. Roads should be handled even by states. You have no reason coming to my state to say that this is a federal road, and which probably the federal government may not be interested in or didn't take care. But at the state level, the constituents are there. Why don't allow them to legislate on some of these things that is closer to them in their states, railway, post office, what some of these things. Let them legislate on it at the state level. And probably if you do that, and if you look at the states in their country, some of them are not actually viable, as some analysts are saying, because some of them rely mostly on allocations from the federal level. But you make them restructure and give them more additional powers. They will have probably get more taxes, be able to recruit people, have more issues to do. It should not be concentrated at the power. I think this is my understanding.
So that is that beginning to sink more now to members of the National Assembly?
I would say not only now, even before now it sank. But you know, sometimes if you don't get the majority, you still have to make an effort to do that. The National Assembly is about lobby, it's also about understanding some of the constituents you represent. You go to them, they have their own explanation on issues, and when you come back, you vote on them. I think since most of us voted for, but it couldn't scale. Well, as I speak for the House of Representatives, the point is still that even if I had voted for devolution of power, the mere fact that it didn't scale, the position is that it did not scale in the House. I think we have realized that we need to work more on that.
There is a general perception, I don't know if this is correct, you can let us know if it is, but there is a general perception also, I think it was voiced by the lawyer, senior advocate of Nigeria, Olisagbakuba, that the North, they tend to lump the North together, North Central, Northeast, Northwest, even though some people would say that some elements in the North Central, don't quite see it that way, that they're opposed to restructuring in many ways. That they see it in a different light. He says, let me quote from him now, he says that the North Sea is about big government, while in the South it's about enterprise. And that seems to be reflected in terms of how the patterns of voting we see in the National Assembly. Is that right?
But I wouldn't say it's actually correct, because there are so many leaders in the North that have been calling for restructuring. I know even Arewa Consultative Forum have agreed that, look, we appreciate the fact that there should be restructuring. Even my party as an APC agrees to restructuring. So many leaders.
Is your party the Northern Party?
No, I mean, APC as a party, all of us, the members of APC belongs from all over the zones. So they are members of this party. And I want to say that what our people are saying, that if you want to restructure, we should restructure, but the unity of the country should not be negotiated. We must ensure that this country remain one. And that was why I told you in the beginning that it depends on who you talk to. Because somebody feels that the restructuring should be in his own mind, this is because it's like this. But all of us, there is an aggregate consensus of opinion across the country, from both the North and all the stakeholders in the North, that look, we would like the structuring to take place. I think it is not true that the Northerners do not want to restructure. They have queued into it. I'm from the Northeast, and I haven't had any story that we shouldn't have restructuring. I didn't have that.